we crossed through the red line. We saw the sign, don't cross here.
Don't cross here.
Trespassers will be prosecuted.
Yes.
And we said, they can't do anything. I mean, we saw some people walking. We also walked.
Yeah.
And we were arrested. I wanted to be a teacher.
Teacher.
A teacher is the most important person in the village that time.
Absolutely.
Somebody who would earn, and I mean, it was the most. That's the person we were exposed to.
Yeah.
The first time I ate jam and marmalade was in the University of Nairobi. When I went to secondary school, due to peer pressure, I started drinking.
Yeah. Have you ever been ridiculed? Or have you ever felt that some certain people have treated you differently based on the fact that you have carried your faith seriously? Hi everybody, my name is Charlotte Kibet, and maybe you have seen me somewhere, ama zingine you have not seen me anywhere. And that's okay. Now, today I have a very, very special guest and friend of mine who I just learned that we do share a birthday, which is quite profound at that. In Kenya, if you speak of constitutionalism, rule of law, governance, jina yake haezi kosa in that conversation. Please, please, please allow me to introduce to you the former Chief Justice, David Kenani Maraga. Bwana CJ, karibu sana.
Thank you.
I'm so honored that you're here. I'm so excited because you're my friend as well. Yeah. So I can brag to people. So before I start, I just want to say this. Your name, Kenani, is so beautiful. I've never heard of it. So it's such a beautiful name. And I'm honored to know someone as Kenani. How are you, first of all?
I'm fine.
Uko salama?
Sana.
Uko chonjo?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good to know that you're well. I just wanted to have us to have a conversation. It's not an interview. It's not a serious thing, but it's just a conversation with a friend, the former Chief Justice of Kenya.
Yes.
I want to know about you. Where did you grow up? How was life growing up? How many siblings do you have? So I just want to know, who is David Maraga?
Yes, I grew up in a village known as Bosuse in Nyamira. I had 9 siblings.
Wow.
There's only one who is alive, the others are deceased.
Wow.
No, two are alive, and myself. The others are deceased.
Okay. Wow. So your mom did a good job with all the siblings around. So let me ask, when you're growing up, right, was it hard for you to grow up, to go to school as well? How was your background? How did they take you guys to school for you to reach where you are right now?
First of all, I mean, there was no fees. There was no fees for me to go to school.
What?
So I stayed at home until one time my father decided and said, no, I think you should also go to school. And I sold one cow. He had like 3, he sold one of them. And then they paid my fees and I went to school.
Wow.
At that time, I was a grown-up boy.
Yeah.
So I went to standard 1 in the morning. The rest of them were too young. In the afternoon, I just decided and went to class 3.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
So in the morning, you're in class 1?
Yeah.
Afternoon, class 3?
Yeah.
If that was now, your classmates will really be astonished. Who is this man in my class? So you said that you grew up in a little bit of struggle. So your dad went and sold a cow.
Yes.
Akasema kijana yangu lazima
aende
shule. Which was a good thing because I mean our parents really make a lot of sacrifices for us to be where we are and even do what we do. I want to jump more mbele kidogo. You did law, right?
Yes.
Do you want to give us just a little bit brief history of why law?
Why law? When I went Form 1, in Maranda, which is in Siaya.
Yes.
I had to pass through Kisumu.
Uh-huh.
I hadn't been to the lake.
Lake Victoria.
Lake Victoria, and a lake.
Yeah.
So I decided to see the lake. And I was with two other young people from Kisii, young boys. We decided to cross and go and see the lake. We crossed through the red line. We saw the sign, don't cross here.
Cross here.
Trespassers will be prosecuted.
Yes.
And we said, they can't do anything. I mean, we saw some people walking. We also walked.
Yeah.
And we were arrested.
Hey.
This was at about 9 o'clock in the morning. We were kept in cells until...
You've gone to a cell? Hey.
We were kept in cells until almost 8:30 in the night is when we were released.
What?
And warned not to
trespass.
To trespass. So from there, I said, no. How can we? I felt that we were mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, look, I want to know my rights.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up in doing law.
Wow. Okay. For someone like me, I just like to know articles so that when I'm arrested somewhere, I'm held somewhere, at least I can say my favorite article is Article 43. So I like to say it so much, even if sometimes I may not know the whole content of Article 43. But people get really scared when you know your rights, right? Before the ordeal that happened, that you were arrested, what did you want to be? What was the career you wanted to pursue?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Teacher?
A teacher is the most important person in the village that time.
Absolutely.
Somebody who would earn, and I mean, it was the most. That's the person we were exposed to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ukasema mimi nataka ni.
I wanted to be a teacher.
Wito mwalimu. So that one is being respected.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go into university. You want to tell us where you went to? How did you even enroll in university at that time? How was university at that time compared to now?
Oh, we went to the University of Nairobi. That was, it was the university.
To me.
The university, because it was the only one in Kenya. So we went, we went to the Faculty of Law.
Yeah.
We were, I think, about, is it 50? We were not more than 60 in a class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And I was being told by someone that they used to give a little bit of a stipend.
Yes.
To students. Yes, boom.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us what it is? How did it look like? How much was it costing?
About 2,500.
2,500.
And that was a lot of money.
What?
Yes, that was a lot.
They will give that to every student.
Yes. We used to get that to every student. In fact, as a matter of fact, quite a number of my classmates paid school fees for their siblings out of that money.
Wow.
Out of that money.
So the government paid you to go to school.
Correct.
That was the solution.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy. So boom. Okay. Boom. Okay. Hence the word boom. Okay, sawa.
And going to university.
Yeah.
And we were accommodated in the halls of residence.
Oh, yes.
The first time I went to the dining hall.
Yeah.
We had breakfast there, bread spread all over the tables, with the jam, butter, and the marmalade. That's the first time I ate jam and marmalade was in the University of Nairobi. I had not
tried it before.
I had not tasted it before. I didn't know how is it tasted.
You guys were eating like kings.
Oh yes, it was
marmalade jam.
Yeah.
You know, wengine wetu hata hiyo by the time uone unapita tu kwa supermarket unasema hiyo siezi. I wanted to ask, when you were in law, when you were now studying law, right? Other than just study, what were you involved in other than just studying while you were in UON?
There was not much other than, of course, playing when in the evenings. We did a lot of moot court.
Yeah.
we did a lot of moot court, and we used to be paid some allowances, 100 bob.
Hey.
That was also a lot of money, and it helped a great deal.
Okay, in Amanisha, that time you to go to school was something so prestige.
Exit.
Because you're being paid to go to school.
Exactly.
If it was me, I don't think I'll ever miss classes. And I'm thinking, I have bread. Yeah, I won't miss class. You know, how did, you playing part in like moot court or any other activities like influence part of your life today?
Any other activity?
Yeah, those activities that you did, right? How have they played a part in your life today in university?
Well, the moot court, helped us get courage.
Yeah.
You're before the cameras, and we were coached.
Yeah.
And told how to behave in front of cameras, and that was important. In fact, it helped me get rid of stage fright.
You had stage fright?
Oh yes,
You did?
Oh yes. So that was important.
Yeah. Okay, wow. So, is there any time in university when you were broke? Ukasema hapa sasa.
A lot of times.
You were broke?
Oh yes, a lot of times.
Ulikuwa unajiangalia hivi kwa hasa nitatoa wapi pesa for the next session?
Yes.
Wow. Do you mind giving us just any brief moment where enyewe you were broke?
Yes, there are many. Actually, it's not once. I was broke around them. The beauty with our life in university is that we were getting meals.
Yes.
We were accommodated.
Yeah.
And from the halls of residence to the lecture halls, it's just a walking distance. You didn't need any transport. So what the money one would need was for going out during the weekend.
Okay.
Taking out a girlfriend for a film.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So I want to ask, now you're in university, and then after that, is there a season where now the school is not providing maybe money for you? The transition between leaving university and now joining maybe Kenya School of Law, there in between, or Kenya School of Law and then work. Is there a time where you were broke, pahali hapo katikati? You don't know, or was it directly after university? You get on
From university, we went to Kenya School of Law almost immediately.
Yeah.
And I did my chambers. We used to call them chambers. I had a people master in Nakuru, I was with him. He used to give us some allowance, which was great.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So people are being sorted at that time.
So a lot.
Wow. Okay. So even as we speak of being in university and you about to finish and all of that, because now when we speak of it, most university students really struggle with alcohol, right? And they have taken alcohol to fixate the problem that they're experiencing in universities. Broke, family doesn't have money, where can I get food? You have shared clearly so many times about your alcohol story. I just want to ask very briefly, when did David start to drink, and when was the realization that I am in danger, I need to stop this?
It's a long story. I was baptized to the Seventh-day Adventist Church in 1965 when I was in primary school.
Yeah.
When I went to secondary school, due to peer pressure, I started drinking.
Yeah.
And like when we were in Kisi school, we drank a lot of booze. We used to drink. And that continued literally all the way until, after university, I continued until 1990, when I decided it was not going to go on anymore.
Yeah.
I think I just felt that I was not in the right place. I must say that the Holy Spirit was speaking to me all the time.
Yeah.
Because I would make resolutions every end of year. That is, this coming year, I'm not going to drink. Those resolutions you make.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first week, you've broken them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So on 1st of January 1991, I went back to church and I stopped drinking completely up to now.
Come on.
Yes.
Ukasema, not going again back to the bottle.
Exactly.
If someone who's an alcoholic who's watching this and is really struggling and is in university and it's like, I really, really want to end this cycle. You know, what do you have to tell him, or someone who really drank from a very long period? What do you have to tell him or her?
Think about it first before you make that resolution. And once you decide that you want to stop, pray. Let me tell you, pray and say, God, I want to get out of this.
Yeah.
And you pray not from your lips, but from your heart.
Yeah.
And get that determination. Then you will stop. The other thing you must do is never to go back to a bar or to a drinking joint, because you will be tempted.
Definitely.
To go back.
Yeah.
I tried that.
Yeah.
As a few years, and it didn't work. When eventually I decided I'm not going to drink anymore, and I got out of those joints, I didn't drink anymore.
Wow. And you never looked back.
I've never looked back.
Come on. Wow.
I thank God for that.
Yeah, that is so inspirational. You had mentioned, taking a girlfriend to film, right?
Yes.
Ni film at that time.
Yeah.
How are dates looking at that time?
They what?
Yeah, taking a girl out. How are they looking at? Like
there was Odeon cinemas.
Odeon.
Kenya. What was it?
Kenya Cinema.
Kenya Cinema.
Yes.
In the Reinsurance Plaza.
Yes.
Those are the ones we used to go.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal getting some money to take your girlfriend to
go out on a date.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys are looking more British, because British people are the one who are doing like cinema and the whole thing.
But there was nothing else to during that time.
Oh, that was the source of fun.
Yeah, that was the source of fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we've marked. I'll go ask my parents if they went to the film or not. Do you mind just giving us a brief history of how this girlfriend of yours became your wife? Where did you just meet her?
No, I met her at a bus stop.
Wow.
I was going to school.
Yeah.
She was going to school.
Yeah.
I was going to Kisii High School. She was going to Kereri. And I met her at a bus stop. In fact, she had alighted to wait for our friend.
Uh-huh.
And both of us now, the three of us now boarded the bus and went to Kisii. While she was waiting for our friend, is when I talked to her.
Yeah.
I accosted her.
Wow.
And then, I talked with her. And that's how it started.
Wow.
The rest is history.
How many years now?
That was 1972.
What?
Yeah.
So you guys have stayed like how many years? 50 something years.
Yes.
Come on, that is so inspirational. CJ, you've talked about your faith so much, which I really love. Because as a Christian, I think even in the space of the political world or any other space, I have never been ashamed to proclaim and declare my faith in Jesus Christ. I want to ask, because you have lived out your faith in action, right? Haujasema tu kwa nyumba then nje, you lived a different life. And I really, really want to ask, have you ever been ridiculed? Or have you ever felt that some certain people have treated you differently based on the fact that you have carried your faith seriously?
Initially, when I stopped the drinking, I could meet my drinking friends.
Yeah.
And they made fun of me. Some said, "Oh, we understand you've become a pastor. You can't buy us beer now."
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I actually went to the joints, because I loved their company. I went to the joints for a while.
Yeah.
I said I was not going to buy alcohol, but I would buy the food.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would even be more expensive than
Yeah.
than buying a round of alcohol.
Yes.
But I realized that for me to stick to my faith, I had to make that break. I stopped going into those
Joints.
joints.
Yeah.
And you know what we used to hear is, you go to church. Church is so boring.
Yeah.
I mean, where are you going to get friends?
Yeah.
It's like the drinking joints were the only places where you could make friends
and enjoy. Yes.
In fact, I mean, after a while, I enjoyed the company of the people now I found in church.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's good. So I also just want to dive in the workspace, right? Being a judge, being a lawyer. Have people, not taken you seriously because, you are a Christian and you stand in your faith? Or have you ever felt like somewhere in the workspace, people have looked at you like, usikaribie Maraga, huyo anapenda Mungu sana?
Not in that sense. To the contrary,
yes.
Actually, people held me in a high regard. Yeah, because my word was my word.
Yeah.
I stuck with whatever I said.
Yes.
And we got along very well.
Yeah.
We got along very well. There are times when we would go to conferences. I mean, in the evening, you have had dinner. People are drinking. Sit with friends for a while, and then I retire.
You leave.
Then they go on until midnight. The following morning, they are struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when you're discussing on that particularly, on being on high regard, being placed at that high regard, because even for me personally as Charlotte, I have been taken very seriously because I have not silenced my faith. There's a video of you in 2012, right? Which people like to go back to that video so much when you raised the Bible and declared that you've never taken a bribe.
In the name of God, the creator of the entire universe, I have never taken a bribe, and I will never take a bribe.
That video, it's like from a movie. It looks like from a movie set because it looks so... It gives me the shivers and the chills every time I watch it. What was going on through that time? Was it a vetting process? What was it? And then what really made you to be like, you guys, I'm serious. I've never taken a... Do you mind us telling us, that time?
I don't know how many Kenyans know about the vetting of judges. There were challenges in the judiciary, and the country decided that all judicial officers had to be vetted.
Yeah.
So the public were asked to give views about the serving judges, whether they, there's any challenges they had with any of them, and a false allegation was made against me.
Yeah.
That I had been bribed.
Yeah.
At that time, I didn't know the background. Later came to learn the background.
Yeah.
Somebody had taken a bribe in my name.
Oh.
Yes.
Aliandika David Maraga.
No. Somebody had taken a bribe allegedly to bring it to me.
Oh, okay. I get you now.
You get me?
Yes.
So this allegation of taking a bribe was my word against what had been written. And I thought the only way anybody would take me seriously is to swear.
Yeah.
And I swore I had not taken a bribe, and I have never taken a bribe.
Yeah.
So, and actually that somehow it impressed the what?
The panel.
The panel.
Yes.
And they cleared me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the mood at that time?
They were shocked.
Yeah.
They were shocked that I would ask for the Bible and swear.
Yeah.
So that ended. One of the panel's members, actually, you see, the 3 or 4 of them were foreigners.
Oh.
And they have talked to me later on and said, we know you are a serious person. Yeah.
Oh, that was so good because that video gives me shivers all the time.
Why?
Because it looks straight from a movie, right? We are not used to see people in public sector take seriously such allegations. Unajua, unaweza kuwa you've been given an allegation of 500 million, right? Someone will just be like, okay, cool, sawa, you know, itaishe maneno, nini. Right?
I felt offended.
Yes.
I felt extremely offended that somebody would even think that I would take a bribe.
Yeah.
So I wanted everybody to understand. And you remember the vetting was being done in camera. If you wanted, you would have it done in public.
Yeah.
I asked for mine to be done in public.
Yeah.
I think we were a few of us asked for it to be done in public.
Wow. I think for me it was very profound because at that time I was 12.
Yes.
And for it to have an effect on a 12-year-old,
okay.
You can imagine how impactful that was in my life and even in what I do. And now even a generation that is now seeing that video. Thank you for technology and thank God you even did it in public because now it can be taken and, you know, the video can be diverse to so many sections to be taken that you were actually offended. And I like the word that you said offended because most people in the public sector are expected to do that, to take bribes, right? Because they do not, their heart is not ready to be offended because they know, I can take a bribe, you know. I don't mind about that, my name Yaribike, right? Because it's a normal thing in Kenya that we have seen countless times. I want to dive in just as you talked your work as a judge at that time and you moving from private practice to public service as well. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would be the Chief Justice of this country?
No, never.
No.
Not at any one time. I didn't even think I would be a judge. Forget about Chief Justice.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, especially in my early professional life, we were drinking all over. I mean, I didn't see myself getting to onto the bench.
Yeah.
Because on the bench, people are serious.
Yeah.
And we were leading a different style of life.
Yeah.
So I got surprised when I was appointed a judge.
Yeah.
Not competitively at that time. Judges were like outsourced.
Yeah.
I was surprised to find a call from the registrar that you've been identified as one of those to be appointed a judge. Would you
want to come?
We want to come.
Yeah.
Of course, I said yes, and I went. I was sworn in. It is to the Court of Appeal now when the interviews started.
Okay. Okay, wow. One interesting fact when I was learning about your tenure at as a Chief Justice as well was that you introduced e-filing as a Chief Justice.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us more about it? Because it's more modernization, right?
Yes.
So young people want to know, okay, what is the modernization that you brought to the
judiciary?
Yes, to the judiciary. The
judiciary had, for a long time, wanted to digitize its records and automate its proceedings.
Yeah.
The main problem was funding.
Yeah.
And the budget was very low. And sometimes it was even being resisted. People were not techno-savvy, and they opposed it. In fact, most of them opposed it. Judges themselves and magistrates, because they didn't know how to go about it. But we knew that we were getting to a stage where you cannot avoid technology anymore.
Yes.
Now we tried. We tried actually. I went to Singapore for a conference twice, and I talked with some Singaporean firms to help us start the process in Kenya. But they were prohibitive. The cost was prohibitive.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a lot. They were asking for about 500 million, which we didn't have.
Yeah.
So and we didn't know what to do. And I had one of the things I had wanted to do is to introduce use of technology in the judiciary. And as fate would have it, we had COVID. COVID brought the court proceeding to a standstill.
Yeah.
And of course, court proceedings were considered as a necessity.
Yeah.
Because of abuse of human rights.
Yeah.
And that was considered as an essential service.
Yeah.
So with COVID now, I mean, this is when we knew about these online applications that you use now to run court proceedings virtually.
Yeah.
And we went into it.
Wow.
Into it. I got some consultants. I had challenges getting funding.
Yeah.
Because of what I had done before. I was not in the very good books, but we got consultants and we got donors who paid, and we started the process.
Wow! So this is the money you got out of pocket. Like, this is not part of the budget.
No. It was not part of the.
It was just your initiative.
Yeah. I mean, when we go to that point, I spoke with the development partners. We were in very good working terms.
Yeah.
When I talked with them and they asked how much I was asking, I told them I need about 150 million, and then we started the process. They started. He said we don't have all that money at once, but we can start with you.
Wow.
With what we have, and that's what they did.
That is so cool. Wow. Good job. That was a good job.
Yes, and I mean, at the end of the day, it went on very well.
Yeah.
I'm very happy the current CJ has extended it.
Yeah.
We started it in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And Mombasa. Then after I left, the current CJ has extended it to the rest of the country. The proceedings now are online.
Yeah, we usually see them on Twitter, TikTok.
Yes. To the best of my knowledge, the Court of Appeal doesn't sit physically anymore.
Wow.
All their proceedings are virtual.
You discussed, there's a time you were not really on good terms at that time, right? And that, of course, is a nullification of the elections in 2017. I still wasn't eligible for an ID at that time, but I remember my mom and sister going very, very early to go vote. And that really motivated me to even want to vote as soon as I got my ID to vote. I want to ask you, as CJ at that time, nullifying the elections, were you scared?
Not at all.
You're not scared?
No.
You're not scared someone will come and say, unafanya nini? So, no.
I was, as far as I was concerned, I was doing my work.
Yeah.
And unless I was dishonest in any way, I didn't find anything that would make me fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew some people would not be happy.
Yeah.
But short of doing the right thing, I was going to create a problem for the country.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, we had come from 2007, 2008. And that is something which was very vivid in my mind. And we decided to deal with the case on the basis of the law and the evidence that was there.
Yeah. Wow. I think that is so profound that we still have people in this country that still have respect for the Constitution. Even as we finalize on, this conversation that we're having, after the nullification of the elections, right? Do you feel, your colleagues around treated you differently? Was there more respect for the CJ because he's nullified the elections? Were people scared of you?
No. No, to the contrary. In fact, they were very, very supportive.
Wow.
And saying, look, this is the way we should go. And don't forget, don't talk about CJ nullifying the election.
Yeah.
I was not alone.
Yes.
I was sitting with the other Supreme Court judges.
Yeah.
So, I should not take credit alone.
Yeah.
They played a part also. Even those who dissented, They played a part, and we came with the decision. With that decision,
Yeah.
the other judges were ecstatic. Say, this is the way we should go.
Wow.
Yeah, you've set the record, and this is the way we should go.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did this nullification of elections, influence the rest of your tenure as a CJ?
It put me on a coalition course.
Coalition course.
with the mainly the executive.
Yeah.
But we went along. Yeah.
Well, I think that was quite profound and very.
Yeah. And I made it very clear that it was not personal. In fact, with President Kenyatta, you may be surprised that he attended all the judicial functions, especially the State of the Judiciary address that we used to do every year. He attended all of them. Of course, he would come there and make a speech. Sometimes he would criticize the judiciary. We would tell him, look, you are wrong in this. And they would say, we are the ones who are wrong. But, all the time we spoke. And I made it very clear to him that there was nothing personal. There's nothing personal. And I can tell you even up to now, there was nothing personal. I had no reason to have any word. Yeah.
I like the fact that you say there's nothing personal, because even when you look like countries such as Britain, right? Even when Boris Johnson resigns or the Prime Minister resigns as soon as possible, it's not that it's anything, personal, but it's just because it's just work.
Yeah.
Right?
Work.
And we're doing the right thing.
Correct.
Because that is what is important. Tukimaliza. Yeah, the serious one. Bwana CJ. I know you love football, right? Now, Premier League iko. Nimeambiwa Premier League iko. Sai. What is your favorite football club?
I have been vacillating between two.
Yes.
Arsenal and Manu.
Man United?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you lean more?
To Manu.
Bas. Watu wa Man United, tumeshashikiliwa na CJ, there's nothing else to say other than that, even as we finish this conversation.
Yes.
CJ, I just want to say thank you for this conversation. It's brief. It wasn't an interview.
Yes.
I like that we flowed this conversation.
Thank you.
And thank you for your representation of Christ always.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Asante sana, guys. And that's it for us today. You want to tell the camera bye. Bye.
Bye.